My fiance, 30F, and I, 36 meters, are having serious issues after her sister interfered with my family's issues. Throwaway account, for obvious reasons. My fiance 1 and 1 have been together 3.5 years, engaged for 18 months and getting married in May. I thought things were wonderful, but we have hit a major problem. I work in the shipping industry and was away from home for the majority of this. Sorry for the long post, got a lot of background that led to this. A little background, my sister and fiance were best friends through our relationship. I'm very close with my sister and my parents. My fiance is very close with her sister, and we thought of everyone as our own families. Recently this last year, my sister left her mentally abusive husband for another guy. Her new guy has a bad past and criminal record, and rightfully so everyone is skeptical of the guy. But my sister's relationship with her new boyfriend is a whole other thing, that I'm not going to get into, not my business as long as she is safe and happy. Since she has been with this new guy, my fiancé has been very vocal about her opinion of him, that he is a criminal. This has put a strain on their friendship, of course. A little over 3 weeks ago, while going over wedding planning, my fiancé told me she did not want my sister's boyfriend at any of our wedding festivities. She said she was going to approach my sister about it. A few days later, she was afraid to and asked me to confront her about this. I told her I would handle it. Knowing this request would hurt my sister's feelings, I asked my mom for advice on how to handle the situation and how best to approach my sister about this. My mother became upset over it, and was afraid that if I asked my sister this it would hurt my relationship with my sister. I knew it would hurt feelings, but I wanted to try and find a compromise somewhere in all this. After the conversation with my mom, I told my fiancé how it went, and that it upset my mom. I wanted to give everyone time to cool off, as we still have 3 mpnths till wedding date. I asked my fiancé please be patient as this was not an easy subject to approach. My fiancé was none too happy about my mom's reaction, and was upset as well. Later that night, my fiancé and her sister had a long FaceTime call, and vented to her about her frustrations. This becomes a problem later. A few days pass, unbeknownst to me, my mom had a chat with my sister and agreed to not bring her boyfriend. At this point, they hadn't told either my fiancé or I about it. Then my sister's ex-husband receives an anonymous message on Facebook telling him how my sister cheated on him, and left him for a criminal. It was full of half-truths and assumptions, and coincidentally the few truths it included, were things my sister had only ever told 2 people, my mom and my fiancé. Once the ex-husband told me about the message, hit the fan. Next day, I was unaware of the anonymous message, until my fiancé told me she had to tell me something. She told me that her sister sent an anonymous message to my sister's ex-husband telling him what she thought was the truth. Fiancé says she only vented to her sister and that her sister took it upon herself to tell the ex-husband. The message included things that were only told to my mom and fiancé, so of course number one suspect was my fiancé as the culprit of the message, but no one thought she was capable of this. I told my fiancé it would be best if her sister confessed and cleared finance's name. She was upset over it all, but agreed and talked to her sister. The next morning, I awoke to a group text. Fiancé's sister confessed in a group chat including myself, fiancé, my sister and my mother. She confessed and explained herself, and as you can expect there were a few heated words at first, but it seemed like things were being cleared up. That was until my fiancé decided that was a good idea to get drunk and tell everyone off. Well, then it became just my fiancé telling my mom and my sister how horrible they are in this whole ordeal and how much my fiancé hated my sister's boyfriend. It went on for a couple hours of texts. I woke up the next morning to find out about all this. At first I was confused and upset trying to figure out what happened and trying to keep peace between my family and fiancé. She thinks I took my family's side and not her side, when I was on her side until she had the drunken outburst. My fiancé even so much as laughed about my family being upset. This was 2 weeks ago, to the day. Over the next week we didn't talk much. A few heated words, but we agreed to give it time to cool off and try to approach this level-headed. After a week, unknown to me, my mom came by to try and talk with my fiancé over things. Fiancé was in driveway leaving for work when my mom came by, and told her she couldn't talk right then. Later that night, fiancé sent an angry barrage of texts to my mom blaming my mom for everything. I have a sneaking suspicion that fiancé was drunk again during this. As I work on ships, I was out of town. I had gotten off work early specifically to come home and work things out, as it's difficult to do these things while away for so long. This was 11 days after the anonymous message, and I was at the airport on my way home. At this point, I thought things were calming down, and we might be able to talk it out calmly. I received several texts from fiance about how she refused to pick me up at the airport, and wanted to stay in the guest bedroom when I got home. My parents ended up picking me up at the airport. That was when I found out about the angry texts fiance had sent my mom the night before. I arrived home, and had a sit-down chat with fiance finally 3 days ago. From what she says, she has no regret and refuses to apologize for the way she acted. She sincerely thinks that her sister was right in sending the anonymous message. We both agreed to stop talking about it for the day, before one of us gets too upset and prevent it from turning into a yelling match. It's been 3 days, and we've hardly spoken to each other in the house. Myself, I can't stand by and let someone intentionally hurt my family. I have talked with my family about it. They are willing to give fiancé another chance on my behalf. My fiancé says she refuses to be anywhere near my family and thinks I have chosen their side, while I've been trying to keep peace between everyone. Update. I broke up with my fiancé almost 2 weeks ago, and when we sat down to talk, she was still adamant that what her sister did was the right thing and didn't care that it hurt my family. She didn't apologize, showed no remorse or any sort of sign that she would be willing to work with me on this. This left me with no choice but to break up with her. The first couple days were quiet, a lot of crying and sleeping in different rooms, no arguing or fighting. Then she went to stay at a friend's house 2 days later, and that is when things got bad. She would purposely come back to the house only when I wasn't there, and bring her sister with her. Took a few more things from the house than we agreed upon, and her sister decided my couch was a great place to change a dirty diaper for her baby, including leaving a leaking dirty diaper on the couch for me to find. Then the next few days started a smear campaign on social media and lies told to friends. Myself, I've stayed quiet on the social media regarding the breakup and keeping my distance, trying to let things cool down. I have now blocked my now ex-fiancé on every platform, including emails, as it was nothing but her trying to drag me into an argument that would go nowhere. Story 2. Feel like I, 29F, lost the love of my life. 38M. My ex-BF did some things I didn't fully understand and didn't communicate too well about them. I've had some bad experiences in the past that took a toll on me and how I view relationships. I've taken a lot of time to process these things that happened to me, but now dealing with this situation/relationship, I think it has become clear to me that there was some anxiety about what's true/honest and what's not that still lingers. In this relationship, he didn't explain a lot of things to me and went out of town a lot. It appeared like he wasn't really investing intentional time into our relationship and said it was because of work and a class. I felt like maybe he was lying to me, but I couldn't prove anything. Otherwise, he carried such a warm and sincere demeanor that I wanted to believe everything he said, but I've seen that before and I ended up very hurt and betrayed in the end. All this put together made me so confused, and ultimately I had a lot of spiraling thoughts which made me jump to conclusions. I got very upset with him over some inconsistencies/things that honestly did warrant it, but he hated how I expressed myself and ended up breaking up with me. I regret the way I handled some things, but he definitely had some issues with his communication. I feel so bad and feel like I lost the love of my life. I've never met someone I felt so compatible with. I know he felt it too, because he was the first to express how much he liked me and ended up saying that he loved me after 5 weeks. What can I do to win this guy back and change his view of me? Has anyone ever dealt with anything like this? He is so mad at me and my heart is broken. Before anyone says it, I don't want to just drop everything and ignore the situation. I don't want to lose out on true love. It's been nearly 4 weeks and I feel like I just cannot get over this.